can't believe my lawyer is trying to defend me in such a state. Hey, I am just that amazing. Why didn't you tell me, sir? I'm sorry. I didn't mention it to you. Oh, I know what to do. I heard you can fix something like this with a really strong shock to your system. Please don't tase me. Come on, lower your head a little. A Maggie kick should be all you need. I'd actually rather be kicked than tased, probably. Oh, no. I think I'll pass on this one. Come on. I'm sorry. Whenever I see someone in trouble, I have a hard time leaving them alone. I tend to stick my nose where it doesn't belong and try to tackle everyone's problems. Well, my head's one problem you won't be tackling today. Well, we're here to solve your problem first. We can deal with mine later. For now, do you think you can fill me in on a few things? Of course, I'll be honored to. Oh, well, I guess we'll start with my name, and then I can tell you about me. No, that's perfectly okay. Really, I think I know you and your name pretty well by now. I was wondering if you could help me figure out a few things about myself. So, my name is Phoenix, right? Oh, what a weird name. This is serious. You really don't remember? I'll tell you what, sir. You can have this back. Maybe it'll help. Is this a business card? I got this from you. It's my most prized possession. I'm sorry. You can borrow it for now, but please give it back, okay? Sure. There are some numbers written on the back. Oh, that's your cell phone number. Phoenix writes, business card added to the court record. How is this gonna be used? I guess for now we should stop talking about me. Nah, it's my business card I hand wrote my cell phone number on the back. Cool. Don't know how that's gonna be used. And start talking about this case. This case? Yep. Can you think of anything that would be helpful for me to know? What can I tell you? I can't think of anything other than the incident with the cell phone, but... Cell phone? Yeah, your eyes lit up when we talked about it at the detention center, sir. Hurry up then tell me. This might be very important. Okay, Roger. It was on the day of the crime, just before 6 p.m. I picked up a lost cell phone while on the walk with Dustin. Oh my god, the blue fucking badger. All of a sudden, the phone began to ring. Hello? Oh, thank you. I've been searching for my phone. This is yours? Oh, I'm glad you called. We can meet up and I can give this back. I'll be right there. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. You can call me Maggie. Found the killer. We agreed to meet up at 6 p.m. Dustin and I waited for the person to show up, but they never did. So where's the phone you found now? I gave it to you yesterday. Huh? To me? Is it that phone in my pocket? You mean this? Do you think it has anything to do with the murder? I don't really know, but if my eyes lit up... Ah! You were here all along! You're so mean! Oh my god. I called you a million times, but you wouldn't pick up. And when I went to check in the courtroom, everyone had already left. Ah, now who the hell is this? Let me guess, I'm supposed to know this girl too. Hey, good morning, Maggie. Oh, is she actually here again? And good morning to you too, Maya. So, how's it going? Is there a word for worse than abysmal? It is not going that bad. Oh, and what if I said that everything will be fine? That's right, it's Maya to the rescue with the ultra decisive, super important evidence. Here you are, Nick, the thing you wanted me to bring. Thanks. What the heck is this, a list? There's about 20 people's names and phone numbers written on it. Oh, it's a phone record. It was kind of tough, but I managed to find out some dirt. It looks like these guys are up to no good. No good? As in, there's a group of con artists the police are currently investigating. I think these guys are members of that group. Name list added to the court record. Why would a group of con artists pop up in a case like this? I can't check it. Ugh. List of unfamiliar names and phone numbers, members of a con artist group. Don't look at me. Where did you get this list from in the first place? What? Why are you asking me that? You're the one who asked me to look this up yesterday. Oh, is that right? These numbers were in the memory of that phone Maggie found. So that's where they're from. You're awfully forgetful these days, Nick. I hope I never get to be a forgetful old prune like you. Maya, actually, Mr. Wright is. Mr. Wright, recess is now over. Please bring the defendant and return to the courtroom immediately. Oh, oops, guess you have to get going. We can talk about you being old later, Nick. Fuck. Thanks, Maya. Emma was nice to me. Wish us luck. I guess I have all the pieces now, more or less. All that's left is to put it all together. I'm not going to lose this, I can't. Come on, Nick, better get a move on. Yeah. I'm gonna fail, aren't I? Ooh. Courtroom number 2. The court will now reconvene. Please call your next witness to the stand, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. But before I do, if I may say a few words. What is it, Mr. Payne? It's about the next witness. He has a tendency to say things that rub people the wrong way, you see. So I asked that the court might be a little more lenient on. There's no need to give a preface. Please just hurry up and call your witness. And yes, Your Honor. The prosecution calls its next witness a drifter who was taking a walk in the park on the day of the murder. Yeah, he looks like a drifter. Please state your name for the court witness. Before I do, I'd like to clarify a little something. Oh, alright, go ahead. Just now, you introduced my wonderful self to the court, correct? Perhaps as a drifter who was taking a walk? Did I? But I will not stand for that, and now you've tinted the court's eyes and colored me wrongly. Sure, I suppose calling me a university student would be awful, just to say, oh my god, everything in my life is to be the utmost. I'm merely looking for the perfect top-notch, beautiful university. I have a rigorous selection. Yes, I understand. I'm very sorry. I will be more careful from now on. What is he, a human chatterbox? Ugh, I would question him. Fashion, cars, women, glasses, and of course university first rates only need apply. Glasses? You aren't wearing glasses. Bingo. That's enough, your name, witness. Oh, is that how you want to play this? Using your power and influence to keep the young people down? I see how you work now. You old people and your dirty tricks. You thought you had me, but you thought wrong. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Oh my god. I forgive you. Alright, I suppose I can tell you my name. I'm Richard Wellington. The drifting virtuoso, with a PhD in drifting, as it were. If you wanted to, you could call me a university student in transit. Oh, Mr. Wellington, on the day of the murder, you were strolling through the park, correct? It would appear that you're attached to that word. If you must, then by all means. I remind you that I am in no way a prepubescent boy out on a walk with mommy. If you must know, I am. Anyway, please testify to the court what you saw during your walk through the park. See, you said it again, taking a walk. You know you. What you witnessed will do, Mr. Wellington. What I saw that day. I was at the park all afternoon, deep in thought about my life situation. I don't remember the time all that well, but I do believe it was past 6 p.m. All of a sudden, a police officer falls from above, right in front of my eyes. Without a thought, I looked up, and there I met the eyes of a charming young lady. Of course, I remember her sweet face. It was that of a pretty defendant right there. The only other thing I saw was that banana that fell with the police officer. Oh, certainly a decisive testimony. Decisive, Nick. Did you hear what he just said? Yeah. That's all you have to say? How can you be so calm? It's strange. My mind is very calm and clear. Maybe it's because I believe in my client. You mean Maggie? Yeah, if she really is innocent, then that can only mean one thing. This guy's lying. You may now question the witness, Mr. Wright. I'll find out what the truth is, no matter how well you craft your lies. What I saw that day. I was at the park all afternoon. Oh my god, they keep my bad progress. Ugh. So you were at the park all afternoon. You seem to have a lot of free time. Huh, that was very rude of you, but then again, what can I expect? That's what you get from a man who graduated from a no-name trashy university. No name? Trashy? Now this might be a fard for a mush-head, feeble-minded baboon like you, but I have to think very carefully about the future of our great country. I thought you said you were thinking about which college to go to. Oh, please. Which university I go to will directly affect the very future of this country. That arrogant little... I don't remember the time all that well, but I do believe it was past 6 p.m. How do you know what time it was? I see you're not wearing a watch, so... Is that best you can do? Do you think you can discredit me like that? You're just a third-rate, biased fool. I guess I can't expect real smarts from you. His arrogance is really intolerable. So what should I do now? Press harder. Answer the question. How did you know what time it was? Tisk, I can't believe I have to deal with a worm like you. You're just a shallow man who can only slam on desk and point at people for fun. I guess I don't have a choice. I'll try to explain it so that even a third-rate simpleton like you can understand. There's the little thing called a clock at the park. Did you get that? Do you know what a clock is? It's a thing that tells you the time. As you can see, Mr. Wright, it's even in the picture of the crime scene. Oh, so it is. I looked at that clock, and that's how I knew the time. But if you ask me, this whole concept of breaking the time, it doesn't matter. It's utter nonsense. First-class people doesn't live by nor is dictated by time. We should live freely without constraints. And you get in another flood of meaningless words. Talk about a first-class waste of time. In any case... All of a sudden, a police officer falls from above. And how did he know he was a police officer? You obviously have no idea how powerful my deductive reasoning skills are. With one glance, I could tell just what kind of occupation he held. That shoddy do-it-yourself, oh my god. Low sense of she was a police officer. He was wearing a uniform. Shouldn't that statement have come first? Wow, that's pretty impressive. Hey, Nick, do you think he's figured out what I do? Even I haven't figured that out yet. Ouch. Without a thought, I looked up and there I met the eyes of a charming young lady. Yeah, what's her name? Are you sure you got a good look at her face? Animals have this thing called an eye, Mr. Wright. They use the eye to see things. In the case of humans, we have 2 of them. Yes, even 2. Even you. I don't care if I have them or not. Did you or not get a good, clear look at her face? That's what the witness was just about to get to. I would like to request that Mr. Wright not use such a violent, loud voice during questioning. Sustained, Mr. Wright, please refrain from raising your voice in the court. And please don't make me have to raise my voice. Are you finished? I'd like to continue if that's all right with you. Of course, I remember a sweet face. So you're sure you're not mistaken? Please, don't confuse your pitiful train wreck of a life with mine. I'm what you call a famous brand name product while you're only a cheap imitation. There's no way someone as magnificent as myself could have made a mistake. Of course, of course. Oh, of course. Did you notice anything else of interest, witness? The only thing I saw was the banana. Oh, fuck. Go back. Press on the banana. The banana? Well, it was actually more than just one, more like a bunch of bananas. Now, what would a bunch of bananas be doing there? And why would I know such a thing? I'm only telling you what I saw. That's really strange. Maggie never mentioned anything about a bunch of bananas. That's it, Nick. He's got to be lying about the bananas. He could be, but there's no reason for him to lie about there being bananas at the crime scene. What if it's not a lie? Well, maybe he thought he was seeing one thing and it was something else. If he mistook something else for a bunch of bananas, then that would be an inaccuracy. Think, Phoenix, think. If my client is innocent, there's no way he could have seen what he says he did. Which means if we can somehow show he's lying, yeah, that's exactly what we need to do. She's right, she's got a sharp mind, but I just wish I could remember who she is. Is everything okay, Nick? Yeah, totally. Yeah, so we'll prove that you lied about the bananas. Or I shouldn't say lie, because he just misremembered. I mean, it looks like a fucking thing of bananas. Well, Mr. Wellington, I believe I have the bananas you saw right here. Ah, so you knew about the bananas, too. Why didn't you say so earlier? But don't you think you can use this as a way to pull more information out of me? And that's where you'd be wrong. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? Isn't that the baseball glove? Huh? What? A baseball glove? Doesn't it look delicious? Care for a bite? That's not... It's a no! Your Honor, I think this proves one very important fact. This witness has bad eyesight. He also probably has nothing to do with baseball. He doesn't know anything about it. Why are you asking me about this all of a sudden? Your Honor, it is a very simple mistake, a glove for a bunch of bananas. No, I don't think so. Objection overruled. You're one of those people, yes, you know what I mean. You're like those people who refuse to accept Galileo. The new possibilities in the end we find out is in fact a big glove and not bananas, a view afar. Why does it matter? And that is why I asked you how bad your eyesight is. They're both 20/25. I suppose you're going to tell me that's so terrible, right? Are you not wearing your glasses today, then? Huh? That's because I lost them recently, you see? Of course, I was planning on getting a new pair made right away, but, you know, my glasses are not ordinary glasses, so to replace them... How about when you witnessed the crime? Were you wearing your glasses then? No, okay. How about it, witness? You are an unrelenting evil man. You're like those people who rejected Joan of Arc. She was brave and courageous. While she didn't do anything wrong, she was still gruesomely burned to death. Which boils down to why you were not wearing your glasses at the time. Therefore, the identity of the woman at the scene of the crime and that of the defendant cannot be proven to be the same by this witness. But the height difference is only 9 feet. It was very possible for him to see the face of the culprit standing up on the upper path. Witness, please be more accurate in your testimony. Remember, a person's life is at stake. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, please continue with your testimony. Hey, and also, don't bring up Joan of Arc here. She's a sweet girl. Please tell the court what happened next in the moments after you witnessed the crime. And she's cute as hell. What happened next? The girl on the upper path ran away as soon as she realized I was there. After that, I immediately called the police station to report the crime. It must have been 6:45 when I made the call. Damn, that's a really long time. Murder happened at 6 and you waited 45 minutes to call the police? They must have had a lot of free time on their hands since they showed up within 10 minutes. You took 45 minutes to call the police? What the fuck were you doing, buddy? Because he died... Oh, 6:28. Yeah, that's still 15 minutes. What are you doing? That's 15 minutes. Why are you wasting time? Immediately call for help. 15 minutes is a long time, buddy. So the person who was on the upper path saw you and then ran away. Yes, that is correct. Which is why even someone without a superior brain like mine can understand that. That girl is the murderer. You may question the witness now, Mr. Wright. She ran away just like that? Yes, she did. She saw me and flew the nest like the guilty bird she is. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that pun too hard for someone who only got a third-rate education? Actually, that did take me a few seconds to get. Anyway, if she ran away the instant she saw you, how could you tell it was my client? The witness has already answered that question. He has stated that the defendant is the culprit. That is true, Mr. Wright. I'm striking your question from the record. Bullshit. How can I get more information out of him? Ask him to identify her. After that, I immediately called the police station to report the crime. Immediately? As in... As in immediately. I mean, sure, a minute might have elapsed before I did, but that's the duty of every good citizen, or did they not teach that at your pitiful school? You think people learn about how to call the police in college? Hey, Nick, I think you should take a look at the court record for a sec. Oh, yeah, no, he's lying. Must have been 6:45 when I made the call. How do you know what time it was? That detective told me. You know which one I mean. The one with the jacket out. It makes him look like a college dropout. A high school dropout. Hey, pal, I graduated from a pretty good, I mean, top-ranked college. It totally wasn't just a community college. I don't believe this. It doesn't matter. I don't believe I was mistaken on what time I called. You sure about that? And if I am wrong, then that detective obviously doesn't know how to tell time. What? Why you? You're just some lousy kid who... I think the court can see your point. Anyway, how did the police respond? Roll it back 2 questions. I'm gonna hit him with the good old autopsy report. Mr. Wellington, would you please take a look at this? You mean the victim's autopsy report? According to this, the murder occurred at exactly 6:28 p.m. So what of it? You said that you called the police immediately after the murder took place. However, by the time you had called the police, it was already 6:45. There's clearly a 15-minute gap here. Do you deny it? I think this court would like to hear what you were doing during this 15-minute gap. The witness was in shock at the time after witnessing a terrible murder. Bullshit, he said he called immediately. You can't spin that. It's only to be expected that he would be a little dazed. 15 minutes is hardly what I would call a little dazed. And as you just recall, he just said that he was here at maybe a minute elapsed. Maybe. 15 minutes is a long stretch, buddy. Mr. Wellington. Yes. Explain yourself. What were you doing during those 15 minutes? Answer the question. Telephone, spit it out. I was searching for a phone booth. A phone booth? You mean you don't have a cell phone? You and your question. As if you're trying to open all the layers of a Matryoshka doll. You must think you're really something special. Witness. I'm gonna really hate to break this to you, but if you're looking at that clock, you can see that phone booth. I remember the phone booth in that picture, but buddy. I'm gonna have to lay down the law right now. I lost my cell phone. There, are you happy? You lost it? Unbelievable. You lose your glasses and your cell phone? You must be very scatterbrained when it comes to your belongings. What? Are you saying that first-rate people are never allowed to lose things? Haven't you heard that all geniuses are strange? The rationale, since I don't have a simple, plain person like you can understand. Enough. Oh, man. Wait, hold on a second. He lost his cell phone? Nick, that cell phone could it be? You mean this phone Maggie found? There's no way. Boy, I didn't see this coming. What should I do now? Question further. Mr. Wellington, where's your cell phone right now? What are you getting all excited about? You seem to be a little confused. I found my cell phone. I'll have you know. See? Here it is. Oh, I see. Looks like he's got his phone. I thought that just maybe this was his. No, it is. Well then, I think we've cleared this issue up. At the time of the murder, the witness did not have a cell phone because he had lost it. Therefore, the delay in his call was caused by the search for a telephone booth. Can I object again? Well, that's the gist of it. I guess you could put it that way and leave it at that. Do you have any further questions, Mr. Wright? There is something. Your Honor, the witness testimony does not make sense. I don't believe that there was ever a need for the witness to search for a phone. How dare you! You can't just make outrageous claims like that. You do have to have some sort of proof, don't you? Oh, well, yeah, of course. This evidence should be good enough, I think. All right, let's have this proof then. Please present proof that the witness had no need to search for a public phone booth. Right here. It's quite simple, actually. Please take a look at this. At the crime scene photo. Is there a problem with it? Oh, there's nothing wrong with the picture. Everything's wrong with his testimony. But if you don't understand my logic after looking at it, something is wrong with you. No! It's a phone booth. That's correct. All the defendant had to do was walk 3 steps. Mr. Wellington, why did you not use the phone that was right in front of you? Oh, God. Order. What does reporting the crime a little late prove to you? The witness can't explain what he was doing for those 15 minutes. There's reason enough to throw suspicion on his testimony. Yes, this is very true. What do you have to say for yourself, witness? I bet this phone it really is his, Nick. He must have killed Dustin to get his phone back. But Maggie said that she was going to return it to him. So there's no reason for him to kill for it. On top of that, we still had the phone she found anyway. But if it wasn't looking for his cell phone, was he looking for something else? Was he? Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any thoughts you would like to share with the court? Can you offer an explanation as to what the witness was doing during those 15 minutes? Yes, I have an idea. There's only one possible explanation. Alright, let's hear your explanation. However, be warned that if your explanation is not persuasive, you will be penalized. Think carefully before you present, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Ugh, I probably shouldn't have said there was only one possibility. Please present to the court the one piece of evidence that will answer the following. Why didn't the witness call the police right away? Because this is a cell phone? Perhaps this is the evidence you need to be convinced. This shit. Ouchie. Yeah, I'll find a piece of evidence. Ouchie. Present more evidence. Jesus. I'm going to fucking save. I don't want to take any risks. No risks shall be had here. Profiles. This one. Mr. Wellington. What? Don't do that. You almost made me have a heart attack. These are your glasses, aren't they? Where did you find? I believe the court all heard what you just confessed to. That these glasses are in fact yours. I'll tell you where they were found, Mr. Wellington. These glasses were found under the victim's body. Under the victim's body? Order. Now, wait a second, hold on. I didn't confess or confirm anything. Your Honor, I think the answer is quite clear here. As he fell, dust imprints grabbed the culprit's glasses. The culprit knew that he had to find his glasses and search frantically for them. What he didn't realize was that they were under the victim's body. And that is why it took him 15 minutes to make that call. Mr. Wright, are you indicating the witness as the real murderer? Of course, that is precisely what I'm doing. Oh. I know I'm right. He is the real murderer. Did you figure it out, Nick? More or less. Turns out the cell phone was the key to the case after all. Anyway, now is our chance to deep six this guy. I'll sink him in one shot. Yeah. This is so exciting watching you work again. Yeah, it's been a little bit. Somehow my old self is coming back to me. It's time to sink or swim. Everything rests on the edge of a knife. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Order. Your Honor, the defense is making a mockery of this court. Without any solid ground to stand on, he accuses the witness of being the murderer. Yeah, that's right. I'm no criminal. This third-rate fraud of a lawyer. In that case, why don't we look at it from a different perspective? Let's hear your explanation as to why you're not the murderer. Well, that's easy. For example, there's the name the victim wrote. What about that? Oh, you mean the name Maggie? Yeah, even an idiot like you can read that, right? Well, we already know this was not written by the victim himself. After all, the defendant's name is Maggie with a Y, and the victim was left-handed. So basically, you're saying that in order to make the defendant look guilty, the real criminal used the victim's right hand to write her name on the ground. But, wouldn't that mean that the real criminal was somehow someone the defendant knew? Otherwise, how else would a person know her name was Maggie or Maggie? This is a good point. The witness didn't even know of Miss Bird before this trial. Ah, I forgot. Was there any way this creep could have known Maggie's name beforehand? There was. It would be best if I had to prove that the witness had a chance to learn. Thus, the defendant's name was Maggie. Now, will the defense please present its case? How could the victim have known the defendant's name? Through the cell phone. Mr. Wellington, you didn't have your cell phone with you on the day of the murder, correct? So what if I didn't? When you realized you had lost it, what did you do? What did I do? Didn't you try to find it by calling it? Why, how did you know? Your Honor, these questions have nothing to do with... Overruled. Mr. Wright, where are you going with this line of questioning? Do you think there is some relation between this witness and his cell phone and the murder? I do, Your Honor. On the day of the murder, Maggie Bird picked up a lost cell phone in the park. Ah, and... she also received a phone call from the owner of the phone. Ah, thank you. I've been searching for my phone. Is this yours? Okay, I'm glad you called. You can meet me up and I can give this back. I'll be right there. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. You call me Maggie. That was when you learned that her name was Maggie. But you made one fatal mistake. Fatal mistake? My client's name is Maggie with a Y, but the name that was written on the ground was with an I-E. It was a mistake that could only occur if you knew how her name sounded. Order. But, Your Honor, the witness has no motive. And your point is? It's very simple, Your Honor. A person usually would not kill someone without a reason. Mr. Wellington had no reason to kill anyone. That's absolutely correct. I don't have a motive. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, can you explain what motive this witness could have had? It's very simple, Your Honor. Are you sure, Nick? If I said I can't offer an explanation, then the trial is over, right? Yeah, but... Now then, please present to the court the proof the witness had a motive. It'd have to be this list of names. Mr. Wellington's motive is right here. What is this, a list? These phone numbers were pulled from the memory of the phone the defendant found. And we have determined that the people on this list are members of a certain group. You looked up all those numbers? Of course. This list of phone numbers was stored in the cell phone's memory. And the names and numbers belong to the people who are members of a certain con artist group. What? Con artist? Can you explain why these numbers were on your phone, Mr. Wellington? This is an outrage and an invasion of privacy. Looking up the phone numbers of a person's phone is a worse crime than murder. You're one of those people. You're just like the cops who raided Dialogue of the Goddess. I don't care, Mr. Wellington. All I want is for you to tell us what this list is about. Do you think any of you can know what it's like to be a refined man like me? Your Honor, this is unjust badgering of the witness. Objection overruled. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? Why would the witness have the numbers of a group of con artists on his phone? Isn't that obvious? The witness is a member of that group. Mr. Wellington's a member of the very group. No! All of your friends' phone numbers are stored right here on this phone. If anyone to lurk into these phone numbers, it would be all over for you. That is why you had to kill. No, this is too much. That does make quite a bit of sense. Well, Mr. Wellington, would you care to explain? I got you now. That police officer. Your Honor. What is it, Mr. Payne? Your Honor, this is unjust badgering of the witness. Overruled. You said the exact same thing only a few seconds ago. Please, let's think about the content of that phone call. Thank you, I've been searching for my phone. Is this yours? Oh, I'm glad you called. We can meet up and I can give this back. The defendant had already promised that she would return the phone. After that, all Mr. Wellington had to do was meet Miss Bird and get this phone back. Why then would he need to kill anyone? That's a valid point. What does the defense think about this point? If you think about it logically, then it makes sense. And maybe we should be thinking outside the box. Yeah, we think like that. Let's see. Maybe that slime ball saw something at the crime scene that made him commit murder. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? Well, I don't think Mr. Welling went to pick up his phone in a very friendly manner. But he was promised his phone, so why would he have been unfriendly to the defendant? It's because she was next to a cop. I think he must have seen something that didn't agree with him, and he got there. Well, Mr. Wright, was this something that didn't agree with the witness? It's the fact that dude was a cop. What Mr. Wellington saw was the victim. The victim? You mean Dustin Prince? Dustin Prince had gone on his date right after his shift was over. With no time to change, he went to the park still wearing his police uniform. Oh. The girl that picked up my phone is with a policeman. He couldn't have known they were going out, so he began to worry. He was afraid the policeman would ask a few questions before returning the phone. By doing things suspicious, he might run a check on my phone. In his mind, it was possible they'd already run a check on his phone. And he went into a panic, is what you're saying. Basically. Exactly. Officer Prince was murdered simply because he was wearing a uniform. Mr. Payne, do you have any comments? I'm thinking. Seems the truth has come out at last. The witness, Mr. Wellington, you are. Impressive. Not bad for a person with a third-rate education. What's that supposed to mean? That evidence? Evidence? That guy is really creeping me out. All you've been waving around and talking about is that suspicious cell phone. Suspicious phone number, this suspicious con group, that. They're all in that phone. Who's to say that phone's really mine? Where's your proof? Where's your evidence? You want proof that this phone is yours? I already told you earlier. That phone I lost, I've already found it. You don't even have the slightest idea who the phone in your hand belongs to. You can't be sure if it isn't mine, you simpleton. What? Feels good to see you squirm. We do seem to have a problem on our hands with this phone. Whose phone is it? Without knowing that it's meaningless with it as evidence. Your Honor, this is bad. I can't let him turn the tables on me like this. This cell phone. There has to be something I've overlooked. There's got to be. Maybe. The fingerprints on the phone stored numbers. This phone has the names and numbers of those in the con group in its memory. I can show them to you, Your Honor. I don't believe this. What are you talking about? Where are you trying to determine as who that phone belongs to? Who cares about what phone numbers are stored on it? Besides, who knows, maybe you went and added some of those numbers in yourself. The witness is quite right. I'm afraid I have to reject the defense's proposal. That jerk is back to his arrogant, annoying self again. This cell phone. Well, gotta go with the fingerprints, even though I don't think that'll work, but sure, let's try it. We should check fingerprints. Fingerprints? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wellington must have left some prints on this phone. Nick, don't you remember? When you got it from Maggie, you wiped it off. I what? You said there was sand all over it, so... Wiped it. Wiped it? Pretty thoroughly, too. Good job, right? Good job.